Hello to my fourth grade Griffin artists. It's Mrs. Hugh and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer here. And today we're going to do some Christmas drawing exercises so you can make some cool things for Christmas. And we're going to start off with this Rudolph. And last week in class, you did the ornaments. And so we're going to sort of use the same you can use the same techniques that you learned last week to make these ornaments that come off of Rudolph's antlers. I think this as a finished project looks pretty cute and fun and Christmassy and festive. And it's simple to do. And we're going to go through right now and I'm going to show you how you would draw this Rudolph. And then I'm going to show you how to do sort of a simple Santa and a simple Christmas tree. And those are all sort of jumping off points for you. The big thing with Rudolph is figuring out the dimensions for your Rudolph. And again, with art projects like this, nothing has to be perfect. The dimensions don't have to be perfect, but there are little tricks of the trade that I'd like to teach you when we're doing this to kind of show you what sizing and dimensions you might want to stick to. All that said, at the end, your piece of art reflects you, and that's everyone's favorite part. So when I have students do something like a Rudolph or an animal or anything, and I collect them, what brings me the most joy and excitement is seeing how each one has a different character. They're not all exactly the same, like they were made in a factory, because they weren't made in a factory by a machine. They were made by people. They were made by you, and that's what makes them so special. So I just love looking at them and how different they are, and that to me is the joy of art. So let's begin. Today, you probably didn't have any supplies that you brought home. So you do hopefully have your paints at home and you have markers and crayons. And I want you to take out some paper. Again, if you have markers and crayons and the correct kind of paper at home, drawing paper, that's wonderful. If you don't, you just use what you have. This is not something that you need to bring back into school. I'd love to see a picture of it. But this is techniques and things. If you finish your Rudolph, I would love to hang it up on the bulletin board. So of course, bring it back in, but don't feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have the right supplies. This isn't going to be right. You just use what you have at home. So let's begin with our Rudolph, okay? Rudolph in a scarf with ornaments hanging. I think he looks so cute. So you're going to start off with your paper. And I'm going to draw with a black crayon. And I always say this, I'm doing this so that you can see what I'm drawing easily on the video. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to the bottom of the page. We're going to work on Rudolph's neck. And the kind of fun little part about this is that the Rudolph has he doesn't have a big, thick neck. He has sort of a slim neck, which I think makes this very whimsical and cute. So what you're going to do is you're going to take two fingers, okay? You're going to take your pointer finger and your middle finger, and you're going to put that down on your page, right in the middle, okay? I'm trying to figure out what is the middle. It doesn't exactly have to be exact, but that seems pretty good to me. And what I'm going to do to help with my dimensions is I'm going to use those fingers as a guidepost. I'm going to make a line on one side of the fingers and a line on the other. And when I take it away, that is my neck of my Rudolph. Then next, I'm going to take my hand. Now, of course, some hands are bigger than others. I'm older, so I have a bigger hand than you do probably. So if you have a smaller hand, you can spread your fingers out a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your crayon. Now, you're not going to trace your fingers because then Rudolph is going to have fingers growing out of the top of his head. What you're really using, again, are those fingers as a guidepost for sizing. So you're going to want to go up and just go around the fingers and then down. Okay, so you really just use those fingers as a way of figuring out how large you should make Rudolph's head, and you sort of have a kind of a good balance there between the size of the neck and the size of the head. Now, it doesn't give us a ton of room for our ornaments, does it? Well, that's just part of the fun of this. So you're going to go up to the top, and we're going to squeeze in these antlers, and then we're going to hang the ornaments. So let's go up, and you're going to make a line that curves out like so on one side and then out like so on the other. And here we have what looks sort of like an alien, but those are the parts of his antlers. And we're going to go up from there, and you're going to make lines off. This reminds me and is sort of reminiscent of the trees that we did. Remember the trees that we did? So you're just going to kind of off of that, make your lines for Rudolph's antlers. Okay? So again, it's just sort of up to you how you want to make his antlers. I think you can do something like so. All right. Now we're going to go in and we're going to do Rudolph's big red nose. That's his most prominent feature. So I'm going to go to the bottom of my head there, and I'm going to make a nice big kind of fat cross between an oval and a circle. It's more like a circle that just got a little bit smushed. Okay, like a fat oval. And now we're going to go up and we're going to make these kind of fun, cartoony type of eyes. And that's going to be a very similar shape to the nose, except it's going to be going vertically instead of horizontally. So we're going to do a nice sort of fat oval eye. And I'm going to do another one. And now we have these sort of fun put together eyes. And I'm going to go in and put the little pupils there for Rudolph. You can have him looking up. You can have him looking right in the middle. That's up to you. Now we're going to do the ears off the side of Rudolph. And it sort of reminds me of the ears of how we did our leaves. They're sort of that shape. But just watch what I do first. So off the side, it's going to come sort of in a point and then back to the ear. Back to the head. Off to the side in a point, and then back. Now, I like to show the inside of Rudolph's ear. It just makes your piece a little bit more interesting. So what I do is I draw a line from where that ear meets the head, and I sort of curve it up almost like a rainbow shape to the tip. Come over here, do the same thing, curve it up. I will make this pink, because that'll be the inside of the ear, and this will be the color brown of Rudolph's fur. So now we have Rudolph's eyes, nose, ears. We have his antlers. Now we're going to do his scarf. So with the crayon, this is a little bit difficult. If I had done it with a pencil, you wouldn't be able to see the lines as much, but the scarf is really going to be almost like a circle. Well, more like that fat oval shape. Actually, very, very similar to that fat oval shape. And what I can do to hide those neck marks is maybe what I'll do is make this sort of a checkerboard print on the scarf. Off of that is going to be my long rectangular lines with a little bit of fringe coming off of it. That's part of his scarf. And then the other side of his scarf we're going to show by coming up here on the scarf to the top and making a line off of it and down like so, and that's the other end of that scarf blowing in the breeze. Mrs. Hugh is moving very fast. So you just pause and then unpause when you're ready. Okay? I would be going much slower if we were in class together, but since we're on the video. So now I'm going to go up and carry that pattern of the scarf. So that was a way for me to hide those lines of the neck. Now you can do polka dots on your scarf, you can do stripes, you can do, whatever you want. But that's what I did because I had to hide those lines. And then you would go in and color it. So now let's go off and do our ornaments, and the ornaments that you did such a great job on last week. As you see here, I've got the ornaments hanging down. So what we're going to have to do, like what we did here, is the ornament line will have to go in back of the ear because we're working on sort of a small page. So I'm going to go up, and I think I'm going to have this ornament hooked onto this line here, coming down behind the ear. And then I'm going to have that part of the ornament at the top where it holds on. And it's kind of going to be going a little bit in back of Rudolph's ear because I didn't give myself as much space as I needed. I'm going to come down from this, make my line down, make that little square that's at the top. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do that little reflecting that we did, remember last week, and that's where the sun or the light is hitting those ornaments. Just gives it another neat kind of effect. I think I want another ornament hanging down, so I think I'm going to come up to this high antler down here, do that little box, and do an ornament up there. The idea of Rudolph having these ornaments hanging off of his antlers is kind of, it adds some humor to your picture. Okay, I think I'm good with the 3 ornaments. You can do more if you would like. And now at this point, I would go in and I would start my coloring. Okay, so you can go in and whatever color you have, you can use and go in. And of course, Rudolph has to have that big red nose, but of course, and I'm going to use the same red in Rudolph's nose to color his scarf in. And this scarf is showing us pattern. That's also something that we've worked on in art this year. Boy, has it been a year, and you all have done a wonderful job. I know this is not how we usually do things. We're usually in the art room and we have our supplies right there, but you have done a great job. As they say, you've made lemonade out of lemons. All right, so then I will go in. I think his scarf will be green and red, but you can do your scarf colors however you want. You could do moderate A colors. You could do your favorite team colors. You can do Christmas colors. I just want to kind of give you an idea here of how we're going to do that, how the color looks when you add it. And you've heard me say this just so many times. I'm sure you're sick of hearing it, but it's just so fun watching your art come to life with the colors that you choose. Okay. I'm not doing a super great job coloring this in just because I want to make sure I can get to a few other things in this video. So I'm going to do this sort of, if I could do one of those fast forward speeds, I would. But I don't know how to do that on my video. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of how it'll look with color. I'm going to go in and do pink on the inside of Rudolph's ear. And I think I'll do an orange ornament. Keep things fun. And go in and color all the rest of your ornaments and your Rudolph. Now this one was done with paint. This was done with watercolor. This one was done with crayon. I'm not finished with it, but I just wanted to show you what the finished product will look like. I think also a word about background. Sometimes I know we get a little bit tired or fatigued when we're doing a project. And when that happens, the best thing to do is to take a break instead of rushing through, maybe making a mistake or a color choice or just giving up on it. So by that, I mean, if you start to color your Rudolph and maybe you've done his fur and you're like, okay, I'm done. I mean, this happens a lot in art class. I'm like, I'm not sure you're done. You're probably just a little bit tired. The project itself might not be done, but you might be done with it. So if that's the case, then take a little bit of a break, maybe get some fresh air, get a snack, and then come back to it, because finishing it will make you so much more happier in the long run, and it'll be something that you can cherish and look back on, instead of something that is an incomplete project. So what I would suggest with this is definitely coloring your background. I think it looks really great and it makes Rudolph pop. So if by the time you're done coloring your Rudolph and you don't have enough energy to do the background, then put a pause on it and come back and do the background at another time. Okay, so this Rudolph is our complete project in this video. I thought it might be fun for me to show you a few other quick little Christmas drawings that you can do. Very simple, sort of like the penguin that I showed you last week, our 8 penguin. So if you're finishing up your Rudolph, maybe pause the video here or stop the video here and finish your Rudolph. And for those that want to see the other sort of drawing techniques, I'm going to show you a very simple way to do a Christmas tree. So I have to find my right crayon here. I don't have a great crayon, but Christmas trees can be tricky. So I'll just show you that a lot of times people do something like this, okay? And then they go to the other side and they do that, which of course is fine. But I always find when I'm doing that one side doesn't look the same as the other. And if that's something that sort of annoys you, this is a technique that I've used to make trees in a Christmas drawing, and I think I really like how it turns out. So you're going to make a little dot at the top, and then from there you're just going to do these little sort of loops that come off. That's your top loop. Then you would gradually be making the loops wider as you're going down your Christmas tree, okay? And your Christmas tree is getting wider and sort of fatter, and there's a little bit more symmetry to a tree like this. And then you can go in and color it. Now you can make these lines darker, and then when you go in, you color it a little bit lighter, and just color that whole thing. And then at the top, you have your star, and then at the bottom, you have and you can do all sorts of different sizes of these little. Here's just another one. Maybe that one's further away. It's just a fun, quick way to make a Christmas tree. Again, I'll show you on the bottom. You do a little point right there, and then you're doing almost like flower petals. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the top of the tree. Then you're going out 1, 2, 3, maybe that's 4. Then maybe you're adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, down, down till you're happy with your tree. And you can do this in all sorts of different sizes. So that's one fun way of doing a tree. Another, of course, is doing almost like a triangle type, where you make a triangle at the top, Okay. Then off of that, you're going to be making another triangle, right? So this triangle is the point. Then from there, you're making another type of the bottom of the triangle, like so. This is sort of a more modern tree look. This is, I would categorize as whimsical. We've sort of talked a little bit about whimsical art. This is a little bit more of a modern, clean, as they say, clean lines kind of idea. But super simple, but super cool looking, right? I mean, you could do a whole page with these trees of different sizes, and it would look really, really neat. And then you could go in and decorate it all sorts of different ways. Again, these are just sort of teaser things that I'm showing you, jumping off points to just developing your own style of how you like doing a Christmas tree. With this kind of look, you could even do, again, you've got that triangle, and then at the bottom, a little wavy. Look how different that looks, right? Is this getting you as excited as it's getting me? Oh, I love learning new things. Okay, so that is a very sort of different looking tree than this one. See how that's very kind of modern? Again, cool and both cool. This would be kind of neat if you went in and did these little wiggly lines above your other wiggly line, and then you made it green on one part and then white on the other, because the white part is the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Am I a professional singer, you ask? No, I'm not. So see, that's kind of neat, and it has the look of snow. So these are just some fun little things I wanted to show you when you're home over Christmas break, some doodling. Santa, as much as we love him, he's not that easy to draw. And honestly, I have a tough time drawing Santa too. It's not easy, but let me show you a way to draw a very simple Santa. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with, okay, I'm gonna have to use my Sharpie on this. So we're gonna start number 1. Triangle, okay? That's his hat. Ball at the top. Rounded sort of edge at the bottom. I'm sorry, I can see that Christmas tree in the background is a little distracting. Okay, there we go. All right, from there, line down, line down. Now we're going to do his mustache. That's going to be a kind of that shape, almost like the shape that we did for Rudolph's ear, and we've done that shape for leaves. A nose in the middle, and that shape on the other side. Let's go up and do little hair coming down there. Let's do some Santa eyes. Ooh, Santa looks, okay, let's change his eyes up a little bit there. That was a scary Santa. Okay, and so from then here, you would just go down, kind of do this beard, and there. Let's give Santa a red nose and a red hat. Ooh, this is sort of like a pinkish red. Okay, super simple Santa face. Let's do that again. I'll do that again a little bit larger so you can see. Okay, we've got the triangle hat with the ball at the top, his little furry ball there at the top, and then this little lip, and that's the hat. Okay, I'm gonna color it just so you kind of get the idea as we're going along. Okay, so that's his little Santa hat. From there, I'm gonna do the little lines down. That's the side of his face. Okay, and then much of Santa's face is covered, okay, because he's got a lot of hair going on, right? He's got the big bushy eyebrows and the big beard. Okay, so now if it's easier for you, you could start with his nose. Maybe we'll start with the nose. And then from there off to the side, you'll do almost like this tear shape or this leaf shape or a raindrop shape coming off. And then from there, this long beard down, a little smiley smile, and some eyes, and a little hair on the side. Okay, and that's our Santa, a very simple, kind of fun Santa. And you know he's got those rosy cheeks, so you could go in with a pink and give him some rosy cheeks. Oh, I love rosy cheeks. And, you know, color his skin tone however you want to do that. Okay? All right, so that's Little Simple Santa. So we learned a little bit about a simple Santa, some fun different types of Christmas trees. We've got this kind of whimsical, rounded, they call that scallop. That's a scallop pattern. We've got the more modern, and we've got this kind of cross between the two, which is fun, okay? And then, of course, we have our Rudolph, right? Here's our Rudolph that I did the lines in crayon, and then I painted it. And then this is the Rudolph that is all in crayon, but I haven't finished him yet. All right, Griffins, love ya. Merry Christmas season. For the guys that are home, next week you're going to come in and we're working with air dry clay. We're going to be making pinch, pot, Frosty the Snowmans for you to have to take home for Christmas. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, everybody, have a great day.